The 2026 World Cup excitement is hitting different. 48 nations packed with stars, all chasing the same dream. Now, the World Cup doesn't exactly have a reputation for shocking champions. The big dogs usually win. But modern football is shifting. Upsets happen, dark horses bite. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the teams most likely to pull off exactly that kind of surprise. Turkey. Yeah, you heard that right. Turkey hasn't been to a World Cup in 24 years. Their last appearance was 2002. But that campaign? Genuinely extraordinary. They finished third in the world, beating Senegal in the quarters, losing narrowly to eventual champions Brazil in the semis, and then winning the bronze medal against co-host South Korea, a game where scored the fastest goal in World Cup history, just 11 seconds in. Now they're back. And this squad is different. Arda Güler at Real Madrid, Kenan Yıldız at Juventus, two 21-year-olds who are already among the most exciting players in European club football. Hakan Çalhanoğlu, one of the best deep-lying midfielders in the world, captains the side with composure and control. At Euro 2024, this young Turkey squad made it all the way to the quarterfinals, with Güler becoming the youngest player ever to score on his Euros debut, beating Cristiano Ronaldo's record. That squad is now 2 years more experienced. They press hard, counter fast, and on set pieces they're genuinely dangerous. Don't sleep on them. Mexico are one of the 3 host nations, and that home advantage is massive, and I mean massive. Their 2 best ever World Cup results both came on home soil, quarterfinals in 1970 and again in 1986. They've played in 18 World Cups total, qualifying for every tournament since 1994, one of the most consistent sides on the planet. The problem? Between 1994 and 2018, they reached the round of 16, 7 times in a row, and went out every single time. That curse is famously known in Mexico as the quinto partido, the elusive 5th match they can never seem to reach. 2026 is their shot to finally break it, and they're playing at home in front of their own fans in their own city. The squad is led by Raúl Jiménez, one of the most reliable strikers of his generation, Santiago Jiménez of Milan, who's one of the most dangerous forwards in European football right now, and Edson Álvarez, though he's coming back from injury, so his fitness will be key. Then there's 17-year-old Gilberto Mora, who's already a first-team starter for the national side. And 40-year-old legend Guillermo Ochoa is in goal, about to compete in a record-equaling 6th World Cup. The atmosphere alone will be a force. Don't underestimate what playing at home does to a team. Morocco aren't really a dark horse anymore. They're a genuine contender, and that status was earned. At the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, they became the first African and Arab nation ever to reach the semi-finals, knocking out Belgium, Spain, and Portugal along the way. Before that, they were the first African side to advance from the group stage at the 1986 World Cup, also held in Mexico. They've since won the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, and they qualified for 2026 with a perfect record in their CAF group. The squad is built around some serious European talent. Captain Achraf Hakimi of PSG, who also won the Champions League in 2025 and 2026, is one of the most dynamic fullbacks on the planet. Brahim Díaz was the top scorer at the recent AFCON with 5 goals in 5 games, carrying that form into his first ever World Cup. En-Nesyri, the man who headed Portugal out of the 2022 World Cup, leads the attack. Their defensive organization is elite, their counter-attacking is lethal, and their squad depth in Europe is better than ever. Morocco don't just want to surprise anyone, they want to go further than they did 4 years ago. Japan's rise is one of the best stories in international football over the past 20 years. They first appeared at a World Cup in 1998, and since then, they've qualified for every single edition. The Samurai Blue have reached the round of 16 4 times, in 2002, 2010, 2018, and 2022. But here's the thing, they've never made it past that stage. 2022 was their peak moment so far. They topped their group by beating both Germany and Spain, 2 European giants, and only went out on penalties to Croatia in the last 16. In the build-up to 2026, they beat Brazil and England in friendlies. These are not small achievements. The growth of Japanese players in Europe's top leagues is driving all of this. Takefusa Kubo at Real Sociedad, Wataru Endo at Liverpool, Takehiro Tomiyasu at Arsenal, and coach Hajime Moriyasu has built one of the most tactically disciplined and pressing-intensive sides in the tournament. Japan's stated goal for 2026 is to finally break the round of 16 ceiling. Given what this generation has already shown, that's not wishful thinking. That's a real threat. Colombia are back after missing out entirely at the 2022 World Cup, and they return with a familiar face leading the charge. James Rodriguez, now 34, still wears the captain's armband. He won the Golden Boot at the 2014 World Cup with 6 goals. the first player since Ronaldo in 2002 to score 5 or more at a single tournament, and almost single-handedly carried Colombia to their best ever finish, the quarterfinals. That goal against Uruguay, a chest control and volley from outside the box, won the FIFA Puskás award. It's one of those goals you just don't forget. Alongside him this time is Luis Díaz, now at Bayern Munich, who's one of the most exciting and unpredictable wingers in world football. The combination of Rodriguez's creativity and experience with Diaz's pace and directness gives Colombia a genuinely dangerous attacking unit. They qualified strongly through CONMEBOL, one of the toughest qualifying routes in world football, and coach Néstor Lorenzo has built a stable, cohesive squad. This might be James's final World Cup. Colombia will know that. And that kind of motivation is hard to underestimate. So those are the sides I'd be watching closely if you're looking for the tournament's real surprise package. Before you go though, if you want one of the most genuinely bizarre stories in World Cup history, go check out my video on North Korea's 2010 World Cup. Their state TV broadcast a completely fake version of the tournament to their own people. What actually happened? Go watch it.